What if the next car you drive doesn't just take you from point A to B, but thinks, learns, and evolves like your iPhone? The Apple car, known as Project Titan, has been one of the most secretive and hyped projects in tech history. And now, leaks suggest it could completely change how we look at electric vehicles, possibly even challenging Tesla. But is Apple really about to reinvent the car? Or is this just another overhyped dream? And more importantly, will it actually be worth the wait? For years, Apple has quietly been working on something far beyond iPhones and MacBooks, a car. Not just any car, but a fully electric, software-driven vehicle known as Project Titan. While companies like Tesla have already reshaped the EV market, Apple seems to be aiming for something even bigger, a car that feels less like a machine, and more like a smart device on wheels. This isn't Apple's first attempt either. Behind the scenes, Project Titan has gone through years of development, delays, and redesigns, making it one of the most mysterious automotive projects ever. But now, with growing leaks and industry buzz, it looks like Apple is finally getting closer to turning that vision into reality. What makes this launch so important is timing. The EV market in the US is exploding, competition is fierce, and innovation is moving fast. If Apple enters now, it won't just join the race, it could completely change the rules. So what exactly is Apple bringing to the table? And can it really compete with the giants already dominating the road? Let's break it all down. Now let's get into the part everyone's been waiting for, what the Apple car might actually bring to the road. Starting with design, if there's one thing Apple is known for, it's clean, minimal, and futuristic aesthetics. And early reports suggest the Apple car will follow that same philosophy. Imagine a sleek, almost seamless body with no aggressive lines, no unnecessary clutter, just smooth curves and a premium glass-heavy finish that feels more like a concept car than something you'd expect to see in your driveway. Some rumors even hint at a fully redesigned cabin with no traditional steering wheel in certain versions, pushing closer to a fully autonomous future. Step inside, and this is where things could really get interesting. Think less car interior and more Apple ecosystem on wheels. A massive central display, possibly stretching across the dashboard, ultra-premium materials, and a user interface that feels as smooth as using an iPhone. Integration with Apple services like Siri, Apple Music, and iCloud could make this one of the smartest cabins ever built. But here's the question. Will it feel revolutionary, or just another screen-heavy distraction? When it comes to performance, Apple is expected to go fully electric, and not just average EV performance. Industry insiders suggest the company is focusing heavily on battery innovation, possibly aiming for longer range and faster charging than many current competitors, including Tesla. Smooth acceleration, near-silent driving, and a focus on comfort over aggressive sportiness seem likely. This isn't about being the fastest car, it's about being the smartest and most seamless driving experience. And then there's autonomy. Apple has reportedly been investing heavily in self-driving technology. While full autonomy may not be available at launch, advanced driver assistance features could push the limits of what we currently see on the road. Imagine a car that not only drives, but learns your habits, adjusting routes, climate, and even seat positions automatically. Sounds impressive, but also raises big questions about reliability and real-world performance. Safety is another area where Apple could try to stand out. With its history of focusing on privacy and security, there's a strong chance the Apple car will emphasize data protection alongside physical safety features. But until we see real crash data or testing results, it's all speculation. Now let's talk about the potential downsides. First, price. If Apple follows its usual strategy, this won't be a budget-friendly vehicle. It's likely targeting the premium segment, which could limit its accessibility. Second, entering the automotive world isn't easy. Even giants struggle with production, supply chains, and real-world durability, things Apple has never handled at this scale before. And finally, competition. The EV market is already packed with strong players, and expectations for Apple are sky high. Anything less than groundbreaking could feel disappointing. But here's where things get really interesting. Because the biggest question isn't just what the Apple Car can do, it's whether it can actually deliver on all this hype when it finally hits the road. And now, this is where everything either comes together or falls apart. After all the hype, the leaks, and the sky-high expectations, the real question is simple. Does the Apple Car actually feel different on the road? Early impressions suggest that Apple isn't just trying to compete, it's trying to redefine the driving experience itself. Imagine pulling away in near silence. No engine noise, no vibration, just smooth, instant acceleration that feels effortless. The car doesn't jerk, doesn't struggle, it glides. But what really stands out isn't speed, it's intelligence. The system anticipates your moves, adjusts in real time, and creates a driving experience that feels almost intuitive. And then comes the moment that changes everything. When you take your hands slightly off the wheel, or in some cases don't even need one, the car begins to handle complex driving scenarios with surprising confidence. Traffic, turns, lane changes, it all happens smoothly, almost like the car is thinking ahead of you. It's not perfect, and it's not fully autonomous yet, but it's closer than many expected. But here's the twist. While Tesla still dominates in raw performance and proven self-driving data, Apple's approach feels more refined, more polished, and possibly more accessible for everyday users. It's less about pushing limits and more about removing friction. Still, not everything hits perfectly. There are moments where the system feels cautious, even slightly hesitant, and for some drivers, that could either feel safe or frustrating. So now we're at the turning point. The Apple Car doesn't just enter the EV space, it challenges what we expect a car to be. But does it truly outperform the competition where it matters most? Or is it simply a smarter, more stylish alternative? Because the answer to that question completely changes the final verdict. So after everything we've seen, where does the Apple Car actually stand? Here's the honest verdict. Apple isn't trying to build the fastest car, or even the most powerful one. It's trying to build the smartest and most seamless driving experience on the road. And in many ways, it succeeds. The design is clean and futuristic. The interior feels like a next-generation digital space. And the overall experience is clearly built around simplicity and ease of use. But it's not perfect. On the plus side, you're getting cutting-edge technology, deep ecosystem integration, and a driving experience that feels intuitive rather than overwhelming. For Apple users especially, this could feel like a natural extension of their daily life, almost like upgrading from a phone to a fully connected mobility system. On the downside, questions around real-world reliability, pricing, and long-term performance still remain. And when you compare it to Tesla, Apple still has something to prove, especially in areas like large-scale production and proven self-driving capabilities. So who is this car really for? If you're someone who values innovation, design, and a smooth tech-first experience, the Apple Car could be incredibly appealing. But if you're looking for raw performance, proven track records, or a more budget-friendly option, you might still lean toward existing EV leaders. In the US market, though, this launch could be massive. Apple entering the EV space doesn't just add another competitor, it raises expectations across the entire industry. Suddenly, it's not just about horsepower or range, it's about experience. And that could change everything. So now the real question is, would you trust Apple to build your next car? Or is this one innovation too far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives like this.